essentially creates the entire park, all 8 lands, 85 acres, so that you can actually extend your park experience right in your own home. So you can play in the living room with family and friends. It's a very fun social time, and it feels very authentic. We've worked very closely with the Walt Disney Imagineers to really understand the details of the park, the stories of the attractions, the personalities of the characters. So we've been able to bring that to life in a really rich way. Since we're going to start right in front of Mickey, you know, one of my most favorite things to do is to meet the characters in the park. So I'm going to jump in, and we're going to start with a character interaction with Mickey. There are a lot of interactions you can do with every character. There's over 35 characters in the park, or in this Disneyland Park game. Mickey Mouse, of course, being one of the seminal characters. And I'm going to go ahead and give Mickey Mouse a hug. Aww. Who doesn't love, right? Yay. Now, Mickey Mouse will actually talk to us. So we've worked with Disney character voices to use the original voice actors to bring that level of authenticity to the characters. So he's actually talking to us. The voice is turned off in this build though, so we won't hear any characters, but in the final game, you'll actually hear them talking to you. Snow White, Mickey Mouse, and it sounds just like them. So I'm going to give him a high five. Oh, high five. Yay! And then he can also dance with me. He's got a fun dance that he does. We have the, I don't know if you noticed in front, the golden spike right there on the ground.
There's Cinderella. Oh,
there's Cinderella. Hope. The meet and greet characters are located where you would normally find them in the park. So if you are familiar with the park, it becomes fairly easy to find them.
We are.
So you want to go somewhere, you just point and
That's
you
right.
go?
So the navigation is actually brand new. This is the first Kinect 3D open world game. So we had to think about how do we make it easy for people to navigate the park. As you can see, turning my shoulders, just standing here, I can look all the way around me 360. And then navigation was actually an observation we made where children grab their parents and they say, Mom, I want to go there. And you point to go to where you want to go. So I was telling you about the unique personalities of each character. Let's see what happens when I try to hug Peter Pan. So you can see, Peter's not exactly a cuddly guy, right? He'd rather shake our hands. And when he high fives, it's a little flying high five.
Oh. That's cool.
So, still
that's really cool still. Yeah.
So you can actually take that, upload it to connectshare.com and then share it out. I'll show you, while we're here though, I'll show you some of it. So high-fiving, she would rather pet a cake.
That's cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
So the characters have their own personalities.
That's correct. The personalities of every character really comes out. It's unique.
So you have freedom to explore the streets, and it looks like there's a few, attraction-based games to play. Is that the majority of the gameplay, is interacting in the streets and then doing those mini games?
Not at all. Actually, this is an entirely narrative experience. So there are actually no mini games. The attractions are all they're all adventures based on the stories of the original IP. So, and even if you don't know the park, what makes it interesting then is discovering the park, right? Like how fascinating is it for people to actually get to know the park digitally without ever having been there? I think this is it, right?
Yep, yeah. There you are, there's the sign.
Yeah.
Can he knock? And can he interact with the environment? Like, can
No.
he knock on doors?
Not right now. Not right now.
So the paths that you know walking through Disneyland, you take the exact same paths in the game.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. If you've been to Disneyland and you know it, you know exactly where you're going.
So you can take the same shortcuts in the game.
There are items that have some pixie dust. If I use my wand, I can animate them. So there are quests. So each character, not only can you interact with them, but they'll give you a quest to go on. So it makes it even more adventurous. right, the attractions that are currently been announced, which are 6. The ones that I showed you in the Fast Pass. So these are the 6 that we've announced
Oh, no Haunted Mansion.
that we can talk about.
Those will not be the entirety of it.
No, when we launch, we'll have 20 iconic attractions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So either the
14
most
more.
popular or the most classic.
Okay.
Got it. And then there's also, so you, there's a map here in the park, and I can either go to it or I can actually just say, and again, voice is turned off, but I could say Main Street USA, and it would take me directly to Main Street USA.
So the whole park is accessible.
That's correct. All 8 lands. 85 acres of digital, digital love.
Right.
Okay, so I'm actually going to use the Fast Pass, and I'll show you some of the new stuff for D23.
Okay.
So if you don't want to walk all the way to the attraction, you can use our Fast Pass and jump right in. So we'll show you some of the Matterhorns.
How do I do that when I'm actually in the park?
That's a great question. I don't know if they've invented that magic yet.
I tried last night.
The ground opens
Yeah.
up. It's
You can't just
actually
throw your
worse.
hands in the air.
Yeah, Space Mountain. It didn't work.
So we're going to try, let's just do bobsled run. So you can see, just like any story, there are different chapters. And there's actually a lot of cinematic cutscenes with characters in them that help tell the story, so you know what's going on, what the story is and what you're trying to accomplish. Every attraction also has a character guide, and so the Matterhorn has Goofy as a guide because back in the, I think it was the 60s, they did an animated short where Goofy was a ski instructor.
Yes.
So when we think about the Matterhorn and alpine skiing, who
Right.
better than Goofy? So we'll be skiing a bit with Goofy. Again, voices are turned off, but normally he'll be speaking to you when you jump in.
You could do a good Goofy impression.
There have been many of us that have tried. And as you can see, you never die. Oh!
Now, I see as you're moving along, there's no on-screen instructions or anything. Is there a tutorial phase to get used to it all?
Yes, and actually, that portal, when we were going through the portal
They had some
flying,
instructions.
it had some instructions.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just walking around and all that, you kind of learn that when you first turn it on.
There is a tutorial. In fact, just like in the park, the tour guide will give you the tutorial.
Oh, okay.
For the game.
What do you get? You buy stuff with coins, or?
Yeah, so just like in the park, you can visit stores like the Bippity Boppity Boutique to buy souvenirs and outfits for your avatars. Yeah, and I think Bree raised a good point, which is the tour guide in the park is actually based on the tour guide that gave us our first tour when we were doing research for this game. Her name is Karen. And so she actually signed away her rights.
So somebody, you can play the game and then actually go to Disneyland and potentially
and
see her.
Yes, she is a VIP tour guide.
Oh,
and
okay.
So she's actually in the game, and it's her voice in the game as well. So again, continuing to remain true.
In the plaid outfit and everything?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Oh, okay, and every attraction will have some special guest characters, and if you wave to them, you get more coins. Oh, here we go. So, in a moment, there's a cinematic scene here in this one bit, actually. And it's actually a little bit longer bit. Introduced to the Yetis, right? Everything in here is pulled from the attraction, so the Yetis. So you can see I have a snowball in my hand. It's to throw at the Yetis. If they're going to throw a snowball at me.
There may be additional places you can go that are not necessarily attractions.
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, and it kind of I guess it's relative. So
Does
you
the,
might think of attractions as the features that move, but there
Right.
are things like the Enchanted Tiki Room,
Sure.
for example.
Well, I mean like, ice cream parlor
Oh,
or
yes. Yeah,
things
yeah.
like that.
So you'll be able to go into some of those.
Okay.
It looks amazing.
He's fun. His lines were.
It looks like Main Street.
Yeah, the
Is-
proportions are pretty down.
Yeah, we even have some of the Imagineers. Their
Can
names
you walk
on
into the
the
penny arcade
Oh,
there?
nice.
Not right now.
No.
Yeah, none of the buildings are
Oh,
open.
okay.
But those will be options, quite possibly, or
So you'll be able to go into some of the buildings. We're just not confirming
Which?
whether you can do all or
Right,
some.
okay.
or,
Is the music
So-
faithful to the park?
The music is largely faithful to the park. Now there were some instances, Disney doesn't actually own all
Right.
of the music.
Yeah.
So
The
there were
licensing
some-
issues.
That's right. So there were some instances where we worked with the Imagineers to come up with music that is inspired by, or at least remains authentic to